Ladies and gentlemen, this is such an important match. It is 4K loss against its Gosu Gatored. And we're over here on this beautiful map, Emerald Jungle.
Indeed, man. It's going to be a PvZ here. Now, this map does have a pretty similar layout to Shakira's Plateau, so these players should have too much trouble adapting to it. Definitely expecting to see that Forge expansion from Gatored, but we will have to wait and see. I might go for something like a one-gate Expo instead. But there's a pretty long rush distance on this map. It's pretty big, despite the the expansion layout being similar. I think it is quite a bit bigger than Shakira's Plateau. So doing some type of early aggression is going to be just a little bit harder if you try to move out with like sentries. You can get like surrounded by Zerglings along the way, take some counterattacks. But no, doesn't matter. Looks like Gatored is going to go for the upper ground player as opposed to going for the Forge expansion. Now, what do you think the advantage of going for this is as opposed to starting off with that Forge expand? I mean, I know you get your tech out earlier, but do you think he's actually going to be able to make something happen with this?
I think it's just to, I don't think he'll be able to get anything of value, honestly. Just this natural and the distances are just too far away from each other. I think sentries are way too slow, and good Zerg players will be able to just surround them if they ever get, astray from the rest of the units, or counterattacks are very prevalent.
Right.
So all those factors just leads me to think that Gatored will go some sort of macro style. I do want to mention really quickly that the winner of this particular series actually gets a spot in the NASL Season 3.
Very, very important.
That's pretty big.
Very, very, very important. He actually went for a 12-gate, man. That's pretty surprising. He cut probes instead of going for that 13-gate.
Wow.
So that actually does make me think that perhaps Gatored is going to try to go for some type of early aggression here, even if it's something minor, just like a Zealot and 2 Stalkers early on, something like that, because we do see the gasless play here from Lost, and he's scouted that out. He's got the probe in there, and that's going to let him know right away, okay, I can apply pressure with some Stalkers. Your Zerglings are not going to have speed. It's going to be hard for you to deal with. I might be able to get some Zerglin kills, some drone kills, some Queed kills, maybe some Overlord kills.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. We'll have to see. We still don't see an expansion being thrown down from Lost. Which is just a little bit shocking. Usually I see players drop down the expansion when they go for, straight up gas with no, straight up pool with no gas build. But there it is. He's actually dropping gas before the expansion. This play from Lost just seems a little unorthodox, man.
Yeah, and we did have, it looks like this one Zealot being chrono boosted out so that it could just block those Zerglings in time. Now Cybernetics Core is coming out, and a second Zealot is on the way. It's so important that you actually do this order, else,
Whoa! He just let the Lings in, man. Missed micro there by Gatored, and now these Lings are not only going to be able to get the scouting information to see the lack of a second gas, which is basically going to let them know that the only possibilities here are like 1-gate expand or 4-gate. And with the low chrono, it's probably not going to be 4-gate, so you should realize that.
Oh, wow.
That's great scouting information for Lost to have this early. He should not have been able to get those in there.
Interesting. He actually goes a Sentry instead of a Stalker.
Wow, what?
I really thought it would be a Stalker at this point because the Sentry it can potentially die to these 4 Zerglings if it's caught out.
It's just that it doesn't allow you to do anything. It's only for playing defensively. You can't go put pressure, even though the Zerg didn't take gas very early on. He's not going to be able to apply that pressure. And with the very, very late second gas, he's also just not going to have the gas production to be able to consistently produce those sentries.
Yeah.
So that does shock me a bit.
And you can see there's a lull. He's just waiting for that 100 gas, and then he's probably putting down another sentry. There it goes. So it looks like it's going to be a 1-gate expand coming out from Gatored.
Yeah.
Lost, on the other hand, we've gone astray from him a little bit.
Ooh, look, he's kept mining gas with 2 drones, man. Do you think he's just going to use that for like a really early Evo chamber for +1 melee or something? Or do you think he's actually going to use that to try to rush out a Lair, Roach Warren, or Bathing Nest for some early aggression?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
Oh, why not?
I don't like it because the only thing I think would be strong is, as you said, the Evolution Chamber for the +1 melee attack.
There it is.
But based on what he saw in his opponent's base, getting the second gas, I wouldn't foresee, Gatored actually pressuring out anytime soon. And, I mean, theoretically, he should have some Zerglings out here to watch for if there is an expansion. So if he sees this expansion, I don't think there's any particular timing for his +1 attack or a +1 carapace to be of use.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It could end up being the case, but that +1 melee can help out so much with those early engagements, especially if you're trying to punish a Protoss.
Sure.
But Gatored, he is playing very, very defensively. Look like that actually throwing down the 4th gateway. Most Protoss players we see in this type of situation will just go 3-gate and then perhaps add on whatever tech they're going for, whether it be forge for some early upgrades, and as well as that cannon to play defensively, or maybe that robo so they can go scout out what their opponent is doing here. But that's just a little bit shocking to me. But I'm still surprised that Lost, despite the build order that he had coming out here, has just not been a little more active with some lings poking around. He's just been droning up for the most part, and he is getting +1 melee attacks.
Yep.
But he stopped mining gas after that, so no type of early lair from him. Do you think he's just going to take a very quick third base?
Right now let me go ahead and see if he scouted his opponent's base, because I'm not sure.
Yeah, he sent the ling over, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This one over here, and got hit a little bit. So he knows his opponent has gone for an expansion afterwards. I would say, yes, go for that third base, get that drone count up and going, and more importantly, get that creep spread going, because as soon as you put the hatchery down here, you can start the creep out, and you can start putting the creep tumors
Oh my
over
gosh. Look at what Gator's doing, man. He's moving out with some sentries. This is so dangerous. Whoa, he's actually using Hallucinate to fake a Colossus as well as get a Phoenix out for scouting. So I'm not sure how much that Colossus will do. He should realize there's no chance of a Colossus actually being out this
minutes.
early. Yeah, so I don't think that'll actually fool Lost. But this is so dangerous, man. +1 melee is on the way, and when that completes, if he just makes a whole bunch of lings and gets a surround on this army of Zealots and Sentries, Gator can end up losing all these Sentries, and that can just be game losing. So he has to be extremely cautious with this push and make absolutely sure with those Phoenixes that he's going to be okay before moving in. Look at all the spines here from Lost. He's setting up 2 more, and he already has 3. And that pretty much lets Gator know after he saw that there's just no way he'll be able to push on that. With these gateway units, Zealots and Sentries are not at all effective against spine crawlers. So he's just going to be forced to fall back here. And you know what? Having his entire army out in the middle of the map like this, I don't like that, man. It's just so dangerous. If a Zergling surround does come, that can just be absolutely devastating.
Yes, and that's why he should push back or pull back, whatever you want to call it. It's very important that you retain those sentries. If you lose any sentry in this early game stage, it is very, very difficult, because that's so valuable for the later game stages. The synergy between the Force Fields and the Colossus, you need them, or the Force Fields and the anything is so important.
Oh my god, he's trying to go for this round, but not enough lings. He's left so many at home. He actually has, it looks like, about 13 just sitting in his natural. If he'd brought all those with him, maybe could have got this round, picked off some of those sentries, but as it was, just lost a couple lings, was forced to fall back. I'm curious with that Overlord Scout, did he see the Twilight Council? He did see the Twilight Council. That's a great amount of information for Lost to have. He pretty much knows for sure that this will most likely just be a big blink attack. But critically, what Gator doesn't have that we normally see with this type of a play is the Forge, man. Normally we'll see people go for a very fast +2 with their blink, and he's not going to have any upgrades, so I'm not sure how effective these Blink Stalkers will end up being. We do see the lair coming up for Lost, and he already got that Roach Horn, so he will be able to have quite a few Roaches to help deal with this. And look at, oh my gosh, he's double expanding to opposite corners of the map. One of them will be scouted out by this Phoenix, but this could be a good move if Gator doesn't scout the one on the top right.
Of course, the Ninja expansions, if they go unseen... wow. Excuse me. If they go... Okay, you take over.
Yeah, no problem. If you don't see those expansions, they can be absolutely devastating. I mean, your opponent just has no idea they're getting more economy than they think you're getting, and they just, in StarCraft with limited information, you're always trying to structure what you're doing around what is going to work best against what your opponent's doing. Your timing's based on how many expansions they have for when you're going to attack. So if you don't see those types of expansions, and your opponent gets a big economic and larva benefit from it, and you don't punish it at all, you can end up getting pretty far behind. But you know what scares me right now is the food, man. Lost has actually invested quite a bit of money into this double expansion, whereas Gator just been putting all of his money into units, upgrades, tech, etc. So he's actually at 120 food against the 70 of Lost. Not a situation you almost ever see in PvZ this early on. Usually it's completely reversed. So this double expand might end up hurting him if he's not prepared for this attack coming out from Gatored. And I'm scared, man, because he's adding on a Spire. Why would he add on a Spire? He saw the Twilight Council. He should know it's not Colossus tech. It is instead Blink tech. So, I mean, if he were to go to Mutas, that wouldn't work because he's against Blink Stalkers anyways. And if he goes to Corruptors, obviously there's not any Colossi. So this just seems like a big mistake from Lost. I feel like he needs to be putting all of his money into Roaches now, maybe some Infestor tech to get some out. Some of those Infestors out, because right now he's not making units.
Yeah, he's not going to do that either. 1,200 gas banked up right
crawlers,
now.
Dude, look at this. Mass spine crawlers. That's not going to defend your third base. You need an actual army, and I mean, what is he doing, man? He's just saving up so much money, not making anything. He's definitely going to lose his spawn buff.
It's for his
Mutas, yeah.
Mutas, of course.
It's just silly. Why would you go Muta when you saw your opponent is going Blink Stalker? Rhetorical. Well, it might indeed be, but the only reason I can see is if he just really wants to play that base trade style, use all these spine crawlers defending against the Blink Stalkers, going with the mutas, but the mutas will be pretty easy to defend with those Blink Stalkers, and he has observers, so if he wanted, he could just go around with some shenanigans, blink straight into the main of Lost, and the game would just literally be over. He has nothing to defend, just Spine Crawler, so if Gator did just go ahead and use that observer, blink straight into the main, Lost would be in a lot of trouble. This is why this is such a risky play from him. Oh, the Phoenix scouts the top right base. Gator now knows about this, and now Lost is going to lose this base too. So now he's going to be back down to 2 base. He's going to try to take that bottom left base again, but that's going to put him pretty far behind here, and I don't think this Muta play is going to do much for him, and we'll have to see. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. He does have 14 Mutas here. They'll be able to go harass the main bases of Gatored, but Gatored has apparently scouted. He's adding on some cannons in the main mineral line. Still, he is going to have to bring those Blink Stalkers back, so going up to kill off this top right base might cause him to take some serious damage from the Mutas in the main.
Yeah, but for now, taking out this top right expansion is so important when you're dealing with a Muta player. Of course, you want to limit their expansion as much as possible, limit their ability to actually make Mutas, and more importantly, make upgrades on them. That's the big advantage when you're going up against Mutas. Now the Mutas are starting up on this, the Stalkers over here and the 1 Photon Cannon. They have to back up. And oh my god, big pylon powering 3 gateways, and a Cybernetics Core is going to go down.
Oh,
nice
that
little
is
bonus for Lost right there.
Yeah, that's going to cause some serious problems here for Gatored. It really does limit his production. He's down to just 3 gateways here. It does drop down 2 additional pylons, but that's quite a bit of warp gate time that's missed. And when you're going for a 2-base play, I mean, he tried to take the 3rd, but it's been denied, so he's back down to just basically a 2-base all-in. When you're going for a 2-base play, having your gateways limited is a huge big deal. You can see right now he's up to 900 minerals, unable to spend his money since he just doesn't have enough production. So that was a great play there by Lost, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He's double expanding yet again, and I just feel like the fact that he's relying purely on Spine Crawlers just to defend his main and not defend any of his expansions means that, if Gator just keeps running around with his army and killing off expansions, I'm not sure what Lost can do with this strategy.
Yeah, and, we look back to what Lost was doing in the beginning. Remember, he had a very fast +1 melee attack. Yeah. Now look at the upgrades. I'm going over the Evolution Chamber. That's it.
He didn't. Yeah, he never continued. Not even +2 melee.
And that is something. It's like, why even get the fast +1 if you're not going to continue on with that, and not utilize the +1 melee attack? At least continue at your advantage. But no, that doesn't happen. Mutas are going to come in here. They are at 1-0 now. They did get their attack flyer upgrade. The Glaive Worms now deal 10 damage, but he is in a position where he's basically all in with these Mutas. If they don't do immense damage, he'll be in so much trouble.
They are doing quite a bit of damage, taking out so many Stalkers right now. He is going to be forced back, but Gatored is just playing this really, really well. He's using his Stalkers to defend, and he has cannons. So many players will just neglect the use of cannons because, of course, the Mutas can just kill the cannons off. What's the big deal? Well, they buy you that time while the Mutas are killing the cannons instead of your probes. They buy you that time for your Blink Stalkers to get over there until the Mutas have killed off the cannons. So it's really, really useful, and Gator's just playing this so well. I feel like he's going to be getting further and further ahead. Look at that +2 weapons is just completing for him, so we'll have that +2 with those Blink Stalkers, and he's starting to mix in those Colossi, so no amount of speedlings for Lost are going to be very effective against this if he tries to go for that speedling Muta composition. And this huge death ball from Gatored, I mean, he's getting further and further towards, closer and closer towards 200. Once he gets to that big army ball, he's probably going to go for some big rampage attack, and I'm not sure if Lost is going to be able to hold it off.
Lost is in a lot of trouble, in my opinion. I mean, for him to not be on a lot of bases, and more importantly, the bases are all clustered in together. He isn't actually spreading them all out like the top right and bottom left as he did before. And that actually diminishes your ability to do these counterattack options because all your expansions are clustered with each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important to have them separated when you're going for the specific style of Muta, like counter-attack based style. Doesn't quite get that assimilator, leaves it with 27 HP, but he's going to go in for it. No, he's just engaging into the Stalkers head on. What is he doing right now? These Stalkers have 2-0. He's taking some heavy losses on these Mutas. This Muta count needs to stay high to be effective with that bounce damage, man. He just lost over a third, maybe even half of his Mutas there. He's down to just 14 Mutas in that group. That might have been a big mistake. It's not like he was doing economic damage. He wasn't doing damage to the even the assimilator there, although he did kill it off. He was mostly just engaging straight up into Stalkers. And what's the #1 rule when you go mass Muta?
Do not engage your opponent's army.
Exactly. Exactly, man. You always counterattack, always attack where the Protoss isn't. If they ever try to move out for an attack towards your expansions, you just go counterattack. Do not engage on that army. So Lost is unfortunately not playing this style the way we've seen it be very effective in the past. But Gatored has chosen this moment to move out. He's going to go straight towards this base. And as you said, they're not split up. So Lost could just lose every base in a matter of a couple seconds here, a couple minutes maybe. But we are going to see the counterattack here from Lost. Does Gatored have enough Stalkers back here? He's trying to use that Blink Micro. He needs that Guardian Shield from that Sentry. That would help out so much, but he doesn't have the energy from it. Zerglings are streaming in as well, doing quite a bit of damage. At the same time, he's taking out the base of Lost at the bottom left.
And Gatored is actually looking really good. It looks like the mutas are too much for now. Let's see how many mutas are out in this. 23 mutas in this clump, so quite a bit.
Yeah, 9 more on the way, too. He has a lot of gas.
Yeah, will Gatored be able to stop this? That's the big question. He has a lot of cannons over here. He should start warping all of his units over here and just go for the complete base trade.
Oh, he just got his Cybernetics core killed off. He's not going to be able to produce any more Stalkers. That is going to cause some serious problems here from Gatored. He's not going to be able to produce any anti-air, no sentries, no Stalkers. He doesn't have a Stargate. So there's literally nothing he can build that gives him anti-air other than cannons. This is going to cause some serious problems here from Gatored if he doesn't rebuild that Cyber Core soon. And he's still not rebuilding it, man. He's at 1,000 gas. Still not making that Cybernetics Core. He's got to get that started soon.
Yeah, he is pretty starved in minerals, however. That's the big problem, I guess. Meanwhile, the natural of his opponent is just getting obliterated. It looks like he's going up into the main. And yeah, this is standard base trade. And this army actually looks pretty scary. I don't know if it will be enough to kill the mutas. It's really tough to call. Let me see how many mutas are on the field. 36.
Yeah, and he does have +2 upgrades on those mutas. We didn't see anything from Gatored past +2 for himself, so they are going to be at even upgrades here. This could be very close. It might end up coming down to the micro. What scares me about Gatored's army here is that it's very low on the Stalkers. He has a lot of Sentries, he has the Immortals, and he has the Colossi, but the Stalker count is just not that high. Even the ones at the other base, he only has 15 Stalkers total, with no Cybernetics Core, although he's trying to rebuild it now. He can't rebuild anymore. Oh my god! Oh no! Oh my god! Gatored only has 2 pylons powering the entire line of cannons here. The biggest Artosis pylons ever, man. And now he has lost everything. This base is going to go down. That was the saving grace from Gatored, having all those cannons, keeping that base safe. Now that he doesn't have that, Gatored might end up just losing this game straight up.
He is going to lose it. I don't even think he has any probes out. 2 probes out in the field somewhere. I don't know where they're at.
There's one with that army. Yeah, really low on HP. He's got to be very careful with that probe. And he only has 600 minerals, so he's going to remake that Nexus right there. That's essentially like his last hope. I mean, he can cancel that and rebuild it maybe like once, but he's also making a pylon there. So, he's got to be careful. That actually puts him down to 99 minerals. That means if he cancels this Nexus, he will not ever be able to rebuild a Nexus. So he's got to be very, very careful that he defends that accordingly. Meanwhile, I like that he's still using Hallucination to his benefit. That is just great with all these sentries. He checks the top left base with the Phoenix. What's scary is that he hasn't checked the top right base again. He's going to send a Stalker up there just now, though, so he will be able to find that, go kill that off. Meanwhile, though, he's losing all of his buildings. I mean, he only has these 2 pylons off on the side of the map, as well as this Nexus and the pylon right next to it. So he's got to sit back and defend that, and this is going to be pretty hard for Gatored to win.
Yeah, Gatored has to just go all across the map, and I don't see this possible. The mutas alone will be able to wipe out everything. All they have to do is target fire the Nexus.
Yeah, they can kill it before the Stalkers can kill it. There are not nearly enough Stalkers here from Gatored.
No.
He's actually gotten back down to, it looks like 12 Stalkers with this group. Maybe he has some around the map, of course, at different locations. But that is not nearly enough anti-air. Even with Guardian Shield, this many mutas could probably just actually attack, move into that army, and win the game for a loss, especially if he brings the Lings in there as well, so that there's some auto-attacking going on onto the ground units instead of on the mutas. But the mutas can be able to pick off these 4 Stalkers. They're going to need to blink back. He's not blinking. He's not escaping. Oh, loses 2 Stalkers immediately. At this stage of the game, you need to be unbelievably efficient. Loses another Stalker there. Loth is just microing his heart out, and it's working out really well. Nice blink there. Gatored does escape with that Stalker. But yet again, if Lost actually just sends in all of his Lings and mutas, target fires down the Nexus on this pylon, the game will just be over immediately.
Well, look at that. Hallucination on some Stalkers. Really clever play.
Yeah, so smart.
But I just don't think it'll be enough. Here we go. The hallucination has started, and he's putting all of his Stalkers in the back right now. The mutas are just approaching a little bit, but they're just trying to shuffle around. Oh, my God. Okay, he goes for the probe. So Gatored is down to, I believe, 1 probe now. Yes, he is. I don't know where the heck that probe is.
It is just like, oh, is it with those Zealots? No. Where is that probe, Ben? I don't see any blue anywhere on the minimap besides those Zealots in this army here.
If it was blue pants.
Oh, no, it's with that army. It's just in the big death ball. See, it's off on the side now. You can see it.
So let's say if it was blue pants with a white, red striped shirt, I would be able to pick him out easily.
And look at that misstep by Gatored. He left all those Zealots just AFK in the top left, completely forgot about them clearly, and then he just allowed the Mutas to kill them off for free. It would have been helpful to have those around his Nexus just in case the Lings try to come in and snipe it off. Nice job continuing to pick off these Stalkers. You know, the biggest weakness with Hallucination is that it only lasts 60 seconds. It's one of the shortest duration spells in the game in terms of like a spell that, you know, creates something. So hallucinating all those Stalkers was a great move, but he needed to wait until there was like a moment where it looked like Lost was going to come engaged to do that. I like that he's continuing putting the pressure on in this expansion, but it's knocking me off. Oh, nice picks off an assimilator. Lost might even be able to get this pylon. Gatored is not protecting it. Every single build is important, right? He's taking damage on the Nexus. What is he doing? Defend your Nexus, man. This is everything. The game is over if that Nexus dies, and oh my god, he's just going to take out the Stalkers. That's GG, man. No more anti-air from Gatored.
It's going to do it. He's just going to gauge fully because he knows exactly that his opponent has no more anti-air. The meters are too much, and Lost is going to take game one. A very, very eventful game number one, and quite surprising actually from the beginnings. I thought Gatored was very nicely ahead, but
he's not
unfortunately
leaving too. There we go.
he no longer has any forces.
Wouldn't even GG it, man.
No.